Yeah, I just want to thank everybody, all the hard work, all the months that go into this process, and all of a sudden, it just bam comes to an end right there. Really, we're really excited about everybody we've added, especially today. Last night we had a couple upsets, and we're able to kind of flip it, kind of get our minds right for today, and add some awesome guys, competitors, the type of people and competitors that we've been looking for. To continue to build this thing, and just really proud of all the personnel guys, coaches, all the medical people, everybody in the video department, player development, Mo and Soup, George and security. I mean, there's just so many people that work their tails off with this thing, and so we'll take a couple of weeks off here, and then we'll start the process again. So with that, we'll open it up.
Yeah, can I just say just an observation from from how we walk out of this thing? It feels like we've continued from where we left off last year in the draft effort. Just the kinds of people, the opportunities that the guys are going to be faced with when they come here and they see their chances. It's going to feel like last year in some regards. So it's our job to do a good job to knit that together and make sure that happens, so we maintain the momentum and the movement. But we loved last year's class, and when we're fired up about this year's class, and it just feels like we've added on to it. And I think I'm really proud of what the work that all the guys did, and where we are right now. And you have met a lot of these players, and you can tell that they're the kind of guys that we love, and it feels like an extension of some really good stuff. So we got to prove that, but it's there for us to do. So it's really exciting.
Is it a coincidence that every guy that we talked to mentioned either having a chip on their shoulder or something to prove, or is there something more to this class? I know it's a characteristic here, but is there something more to this class, or was that just a coincidence?
I think that's the way what our board looks like. Yeah. You're on our board for a reason, and so some people are not. We have a grade that is a good football player, but he's not necessarily our type of person or our type of competitor, and that's a specific category, so that's not on our front board. We have a medical board where unfortunately we can't have some guys, and then we have our free agent board, and so I think it's a reflection of what our front board looks like, and all the effort that goes into understanding who the person is, all the scouts' hard work, the coaches' hard work with all the Zooms, and I think you got to earn your way onto that board.
The chip on the shoulder aspect, is that part of the decision at 5th pick overall?
5th pick overall. Wow, so it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Yeah. That's right, you were gone. You've been gone for a couple of days.
Yeah, vacation.
Okay, yeah. No, I mean, chip on his shoulder for sure. And like I said the other night, he stayed in school and,
that's part of it.
worked to improve his
Right.
craft.
He said you were looking for players at the end of last season. You said you're looking for players with more juice. You're looking for more juice.
Always.
How do you define that?
I mean, on the field, whatever the film says, and then when you're in these interviews, and we study hours and hours of these interviews that everybody we do with at the combine, at the All-Star games, with all the Zooms that the coaches do. So you're constantly studying. Probably just as much film. I mean, we'd all study the film and be like, okay, that's the kind of player he is and all that, but who the person is at their core is really what's important. Sure.
Electrical energy
Yeah,
here.
you can see it. Yeah.
And John, you talked yesterday about not forcing picks. It was good to have some of the big guys kind of come to you this round or today to get some of those offensive and defensive linemen.
Yep. Yeah. We had an opportunity to go back a couple times, and we hung in there and just stayed with the board, and we had guys come to us.
Cameron Young and Mike Morris, what do you like about those guys?
Oh man, Cam first, he's like we talked about last night. Grown men. This guy's his back's almost as wide as Coach Hurt's, and he's super strong at the point of attack, and he just plays with just natural God-given strength, and he competes and was really excited we got him. He said, "Why'd y'all wait for me so long?" or something like that. And then Mike had an interesting spring because he tried losing weight to test better, and he had a high ankle sprain. and he's just kind of figuring out, like, you know what, I'm a big person, you know, I'm a defensive end, and so as of today he was 295, and yeah, so we got a cool video this morning. And he's sitting on the scale because we're packing on, you know, so and we know he's a big guy. He's long, he plays hard.
The 4 guys we hit right, it looks, and I can see you now, you're looking at the guys coming back to back to back, the big guys, they all have a similar makeup about them and a mentality. This is a very strong, very physical, aggressive bunch of guys, and it fits on both sides of the football, and it complements what happened on the top end of the draft too. So it's there's a commonality, and it should be obvious, and it's really what we're looking for.
Position-wise, where do you see the 2 defensive linemen fitting in?
Well, Cam's a nose tackle. He's a real nose tackle. He plays on the center and plays inside. He's an inside guy all the way. Mike is going to be a defensive end for us. He'll play on the guard and play on the tackle, but he's going to have his hand on the ground for the most part, and a little bit of transition for that. He played there quite a bit, but we're going to play him there a lot. So that's a little bit of an adjustment for him. So.
Young's a little bit smaller than some of the other nose tackles that you guys have had. Is that maybe a suggestion that there's going to be a little different emphasis on technique?
A little bit smaller, but that's because those other guys were enormous now too. You're talking, you know, with Al and Monet, those guys were 340s and all that, you know, up. But he's this is as stout a player as there is in college football this year. He's physical and tough. He's over 300 pounds and he plays like it, and he plays really tough football for us. So we'll get the same kind of play. It's not any reflection of anything. It's just this is the guy this year that fits the bill.
Yeah, he puts his hands on people and they don't move. You know, we got heavy hands.
You parked on the defensive front for a while now. Just the importance of having a lot of guys up there. Obviously, spent some money in free agency, drafted some guys right now, but you've been open also to maybe bringing back some veterans. I'm just curious, where do you feel like the room is right now, and you know, if there's anything that you might see in the future.
Today was really important for us, and of course the free agency moves that we made, you know, to get Jay Reed back and to get Dre in. Those were hugely pointed and directed at you know, trying to adjust our room and make it a little more competitive and hopefully more productive. We're just always adding. Today, to hit the nose tackle with Cam was a really big deal. We really needed a spot right there. We're not done. We got work to do, and we'll continue to work at it. We never stop, you know. But we got our eyes on some guys. We're talking to some people to continue to make it as competitive as possible.
What stood out about Anthony?
Pardon me?
What stood out about Anthony?
Oh wow, square, power.
Doubt about him?
What stood out about him?
Oh, stood out. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Again, heavy hands. You can see him finishing people. You know, he's from Michigan, Baton Rouge. Had to, you know, he had a rough go. Where he grew up in Michigan, and has overcome a lot. Would go back to see his mom. His mom was struggling for a little while back home. So he's overcome a lot of things in his life. We had him in on a visit. He had a great visit here with our coaching staff and you know, our player development people and Stu and everybody in the kitchen. He had a great time. And but I'm doing that for Stu because he likes that when we say it. Yeah. But yeah, you know, you know, the game I saw him play live, he had to go to tackle. He found out that morning the player was suspended, so he moves out there and goes and plays tackle, and he played well. And so he's a big man. He can compete to start, and he can get you out of a game at tackle.
What's the objectives as a guard for you guys?
First,
Yeah, that's
tackle second.
We'll start there. Yeah.
What about Luke? Just the Olu at center. I mean, it looks like he's had a ton of playing time, awards, all that.
Yeah, great. You know, great background. Virginia to Michigan, comes in there. He's named captain the first year. Again, another grown man, incredibly smart, knows the game, natural-born leader. Awesome week at the Senior Bowl. You can't move him. I mean, he's just super stout, really good person, and top-level competitor.
You guys value versatility in the secondary as much as any team. Jared Reed, how does a player like that had over 200 tackles and started a bunch of
Yeah, he's
great
really
athlete? How does he?
He's one of our favorites.
Yeah, he's fun to watch now. He's all over the place. He's got a real knack about, you know, going for it and playing fast and aggressive and willing to make the plays. And so there's a common theme again. You know, this is the guy that we thought was really, really active and a lot of versatility, and will be a special teams guy as well. It's going to be a very competitive position for us now, but he's going to bring the kind of juice that we're talking about,
Yeah.
the energy that we love, you know. So it should be a really good ad. We'll see how we'll fit. There's a little style to him, the way he plays. We'll fit his style into our stuff so that he can be at his best.
When he came in for his visit, you know, we couldn't wait to talk to him.
Yeah.
Because he plays the game like what movie is it? Elf, you know. I think that guy's an angry little elf, you know. And no, he plays me, and I was like, "Are you okay, man? Like, are you all right?" And he's super serious.
Really serious.
He's looking at me like, and I'm like, "Seriously, are you okay?" Because you play the game like you're mad at somebody, you know. And he does. So he had a great time here, great visit, ton of energy. Ryan Florence did a great job. This guy was very, very much under the radar up until, you know, maybe like a month ago he started taking some trips. But Ryan did a great job with the background. Been a favorite of his for a long time. We were hoping to keep it like real low, but then he started taking trips. So we drafted him.
When we talked to Kenny, he seemed surprised he fell kind of where he did. Were you guys surprised he was still there? The second
Yeah,
round,
very
or-
much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's very emotional.
SEC running back. Yeah. You know, catches the ball out of the backfield. Really, you know, obviously very talented guy who's been highly productive in the SEC. So, yeah.
Was it the 40 time?
Yeah, 40 time, and I think he would tell you like he didn't have a you know, amazing spring in terms of you know, his combine workout or, you know. Well, I'll let him talk on that.
Did he, I mean, he said he was already talking to his agent about free agent stuff when you guys called in, and he was very emotional.
Very
when he talked
emotional with
to
us.
him, so-
Was he with you too?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was obvious that it hit him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he came in there and played right away. So, I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
And the people he was playing with, you know, big time program, highly talented guy, comes in there and plays right
He'll have
away.
that chip showing now. He'll be ready to prove it, you know, so.
He had
exciting.
the chip, I'm sorry. I mean, he had the chip, but he also kind of talked to us about how he valued the opportunity he had just to his clutch game back. Can you talk more about that?
At Georgia or here?
Both, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that it's emotional because of the expectations, and they don't always get met, you know, and after a while, it just, you know, is it ever going to happen? And then once it does, he broke up, I mean, immediately when John talked to him, and then when I talked to him. It's just part of, you know, how important this is to our guys, you know, and how much it means to them, and then to have to suffer through, in their sense, you know, to suffer through the long rounds and the picks and all that. By the time it gets there, it's you know, it's kind of hard to contain sometimes. You know, we've seen some pretty famous picks we've had over the years. It's been emotional, you know, for them, but that shows you who they are and what they're all about, and it's why we like these guys, you know, and why they're, you know, we're so attracted to them.
Yeah, and he's already getting calls, you know, at that point in the draft for probably a good, I don't know, hour and a half. He's getting calls from people like, hey, you know, if you're not drafted, you know, it's like, you know, you'd fit. And there were, you know, people are recruiting him, I guess. So, yeah, I could see where he was like, okay, you know, still that fact of still being drafted is a big deal. I could see that.
Pete, you kind of alluded to this class fitting in with last year's and kind of all that. How do you sort of feel like the entire roster is right now when you kind of look at this?
Well, this is going to be a really, really competitive camp. This camp this year now. There's enough athleticism in the young end of the roster, with a ton of speed, a ton of aggressive mentality, physical group that's going to make it really, really competitive, and it's going to be a great way for us to start this season. Kick it off here. The Rooks will get here in a couple weeks before they can show, but we'll kick it off, really set it up, and then the kickoff time coming to camp. And I would expect that this is the kind of atmosphere that is conducive to really going for it, and that we ain't gonna hold nothing back. Everybody tried to make us into a rebuild a year ago or whatever that was all about, and that isn't the way we think. And we're thinking as we start this thing off and pull these guys with us that we're really going for it. And from Gino and Diggsy and Jamal and Bobby and the guys on you know, both sides of the football, Will Disley and even the young guys from Kenny and DK and of course Tyler, those guys they have their expectations set, and they're going to embrace these guys as they come in, as they did last year. We've already talked to guys that were rookies this past season about getting ready. They're coming in, they're going to fight for your job, they're going to give you their best shot, and we're going to give them an opportunity to show where they fit. And as you get ready to compete and not give up your job, you also have to embrace these guys because they're going to be part of it. So it's all of that's already in flow, and so it's going to be a really exciting year coming up.
You're going to pick kind of a trait or two to describe this class in the whole.
I
would say tough. Sorry,
I think
I didn't mean to
toughness.
speak
Yeah,
over you.
I think it's toughness and physicality. I think this is a really, from top to bottom, it's a group that's going to really demonstrate that, and we're really fired up about that.
On our tags, we have different insignia on there to represent different things, and I'd say just about every one of these guys has a hammer on there, which means that the scout has to say this guy's a legitimate tough guy. So when you look at our tag, all these guys have a hammer on it.
John, I think 9 of the 10 are from sort of power conferences. Is there anything to that aspect of it, and maybe playing better competition going into the season?
Probably, yeah, probably. But probably.
Not draft, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mike.
Pete, earlier you kind of implied that, just like last year, you'll have some guys with maybe more direct paths to contributing right away. Is that I won't say by design, but what I mean? Is that part of the kind of reset from last year? Is giving these guys a chance to compete?
Well, it just kind of falls that way, and I think that we were able to hit the picks in areas where we really needed help as well. We did not draft for by need. We drafted for the guys that we wanted, but they're going to have really good opportunities. I mean, it's my job to make this a competitive opportunity for each one of these guys so they can show where they fit and show who they are. And so that's why we play young guys. That's why we've always done that. And we want to see if they can fit in and develop them early in their opportunities to see if they can become regulars and be really solidify our roster. So that's going to happen again, and we're going to see Devin, and we're going to see Jackson, and we're going to see Derek. Those guys are going to be out there and showing where we're, and fighting for their spots. And that only makes everybody else fight too. So that's all, the competitive mentality we're bringing.
For Jarek, would that be at nickel? For Jarek, would that be?
He can play nickel. He can play safety and nickel. We're excited to see how he fits into that.
Just don't tell him where to play. Let him decide. He might tear your head off.
You only have 2 quarterbacks on the roster at the moment. Is it important to add another guy or two there?
Yeah, we'll continue to keep working that. We're trying to sign guys in rookie free agency right now, and also we'll have some guys come in for rookie mini camp. But we'll continue to watch other teams' rosters and waivers and all that kind of stuff. We'll continue to work that process.
As high as you had picks and as many as you had in the first 2 rounds, what did not taking a quarterback say about that position for you going forward?
Well, I mean, like we said last night, when you were not right there.
And just your name tag.
Yeah.
Thanks for noticing.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you can't. There's 3 quarterbacks that went right ahead of us, and you can't just push it because of a narrative. It has to feel right for everybody. It has to the whole team, the locker room, coaches.
I think too, it adds that we do like our guys. We do like where we are, and then we need to add another one. We need for sure, and that'll likely happen. But we're fired up about Gino coming back, of course, and we're fired up about Drew being back. I think the opportunity for Drew is a really good one again to grow with our program and become part of it, and we think that's a real strength of ours, and so we need to prove that, but we think we're going to be in good shape there.
Yeah, looking back on it, I think it's a really good example of clear communication in any industry. We got done at the end of the season. We were extremely honest with Gino, Drew. Gino had a phenomenal season. We all get that. Drew had a great season as well. The way he handled everything. Things didn't go his way during training camp. Everybody knows that. So to be able to work the free agency process the way we did, with that clear communication, to go into the draft where we let them know, hey, look, we have never drafted it this high. There's a chance we could take a quarterback, and we got to be ready if that player comes to us. They knew that. They still signed back with us, and we're embraced. And we embraced them. They embraced us. So I think it's a great example of impeccable communication and honesty and yeah, I'm proud of everybody, the way everybody handled it. Their agents, the coaches, everybody in personnel, Matt, everybody. It's been great.
with Locke, he said after the season that he and Dave Canales worked every day on every play and every game plan after practice. Have you ever had a backup quarterback do that?
I don't know. They were diligent about it. David was really working to develop Drew all the way throughout, figuring that it may be any day now and all that kind of stuff. But that's I know. Yeah, and with that's just something that Greg will do as well. We're not going to miss that now. But that's I don't know how special that is, because we've always thought that that's what's necessary. Because they don't always get the turns and they don't get all the game plan reps and stuff like that. That's where he tries to make that up. So we'll continue to do that.
Were you fearing you're going to lose him to Tampa?
Sure. Yeah. Dave loved him. And then it's just a statement about him coming back to us and staying with us that we're very happy about.
With Jarek, I know they're different players, but Quandre is also, undersized, versatile, kind of feisty guy.
Don't tell him that. Don't tell him.
Seeing Quandre do what he's done for so long, does that maybe give you a little more confidence in a guy like Jarek that, okay, he doesn't check all the boxes, but
absolutely, yeah. There's no. He's very similar in this stage of his career and all that. And kind of drafted in a similar spot, close to it. And I think it might have been a 6th round, right? Yeah. So
that and from KJ's hometown.
Yeah. There you go. That's right.
With Jackson, I know it was a while ago now that you drafted him, but how did you feel like
last week?
His skill set as a guy who could really move the chains, complement what else you had in your receiver corps?
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Yeah, you just said it right. Tyler's so talented, creating separation, still getting down the field, setting people up down the field, and you have a huge power player in DK, and Jackson's he's one of he's an excellent route runner. He's excellent change of direction, phenomenal hands. They had a couple receivers that transferred that were darn good players when he was a freshman. So that's pretty telling at a university like that. That's a great program.
John, what stands out about Kenny's pass catching, his ability there, and what's made him successful in that area?
Just real easy hands. Just really a quick plucker. Really quick, gets his head around real quick, and it's just easy for him. Doesn't have to break stride. Had great body control. Really cool feet. What was the guy with the long neck that I was telling you about? He reminded me of the running back.
Harold something.
Yeah, Kansas City. McNair? No, not McNair.
Harold,
Anyway.
Harold something.
Yeah, he's like a running back from LSU. Anyway, just like this really sleek, kind of like great feet, and get skinny and just inside. And yeah, he's and he plays on teams, and he's a football player. Had a great program, obviously.
Hey John, is there something about the way they teach it at Michigan or the schemes that they run up front that help Michigan guys like translate directly to the pros?
Absolutely, yeah, no question. And they're playing. They're still playing big time. Aaron Heinlein refers to it as big boy football. They're playing big boy football.
Yeah, they're physical.
Yeah.
Coach Harbaugh has always been that way with his style, and they're separating from other teams in that in that regard.
Harvey Williams.
Sorry. That's not Harry. That's right. Harvey Williams.
Does playing there, did that scheme maybe make
John, you want to talk about Harvey?
No, that's
sorry.
Does playing there and that scheme and the big boy football make Olu equipped to push Evan right away?
I don't think there's any doubt that he's going to come in battle now. He's legit. He's played run all the schemes that we've seen that we do, the blocking principles and the expectations of the style of play. Not all the schools in college football are like that. Michigan separates himself a little bit in that regard, and it gives us a really good kind of preparation spot for us, and so we can see guys as we like to see them. So we have kind of finding our way to their program. So I think it's a good compliment.
Do you want Al Woods back?
I love Al Woods.
Is that a viable option right now?
See what happens.
Is Puna same potential?
Same thing.
Love Pooh too. He's one of our guys, so we'd love to see those guys come back.
Well, Shelby.
Yeah.
We're gonna go through a checklist.
John, this was regarded as a really good tight end group. Obviously, you guys didn't take one. Was that tough to pass on all the guys in this class?
To a certain extent, yeah. We had a couple guys identified that Pat really liked and our whole staff liked that were really good fits, good special teams players. Kind of like the quarterbacks, it just didn't fit at the correct time. And that's, it could be by design to a certain extent, the way we build our board. We build, we grade for our team, not the National Football League, and what our team looks like, and we have a really strong group, and we believe in all those guys. If a player were to come to that position, it wouldn't have been a reflection on any one of the guys that we have in that room right now.
Do the same thing kind of for the inside backer class as well.
Exactly.
With your cap situation, do you have to make some moves or some contract tweaks to fit your class under contract?
No, we're okay right now. Yeah.
Anything else?
Oh wait, one plan at long snapper. You guys been in contact with Tyler?
Yeah, we don't
Carson?
need one. He's gonna do it this year.
We'll flip it back here. We don't plan to kick much. We're going for it.
We'll figure it out.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you for your patience. Thanks for hanging with us.